Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie.
Today we are creeping on the bottom shelf. Recently, we presented our fanciest bottle ever. It was Old Fitzgerald. It was a decanter bottle. It was
shiny,
gorgeous packaging, wheated bourbon, deliciousness, right? And it got us thinking, what's the cheapest bourbon that we could possibly buy? And in Oregon, we tracked it down. I wasn't actually sure when I saw it if it was the right bottle because I said, well, that doesn't look like it could possibly be a 750 milliliter bourbon. It is. And in fact, it's a 750 milliliter lightweight traveler.
Ooh,
Isn't
traveler.
that handy? Think of the places that you could go with this bottle. It's meant to be hauled with you, and what's better than that? This is Dr. James Crow's Old Crow.
Dr. James.
Look, it's since 1835. This is a storied bourbon in the whiskey world. This isn't a very old name in bourbon. It's actually kind of exciting to me to see that it's still around. I don't know all that much about it history-wise, but 80 proof. It cost us $9.95. There's no sales tax here in Oregon.
Under $10.
That's the cheapest bourbon available here in Oregon. And before you say, what about early times? What about 10 high? What about things like that? Those are light whiskeys or neutral grain spirits mixed with bourbons. We wanted to see what's the actual cheapest, specifically straight bourbon that we could buy. And what we know about this one outside of the proof and the price point, not a ton. Aged for a full 3 years in new charred white oak barrels. There you go. That's the information you're getting from us.
And I've never heard of it. Not that that should come as a surprise. And I think this is going to be kind of fun.
I think it's time for a cork pop. Do you want to have at it?
I would love to.
All right, let's get to it.
Oh, let's see if we get a snap at least. Nope.
Well, we teased, but there's nothing wrong with the screw top. Some of our favorite whiskeys have screw tops. This one, what do you think? Okay, so the most affordable whiskeys that we've had on our shelf so far have all been 80 proof, just like this one, and they've all been in this neighborhood. The Ancient Age I see from Buffalo Trace is currently selling for $11.95. That's $2 off on sale. Old Taylor we saw for $10.95 a long time ago. Old Taylor's pretty good, and even the benchmark. You know, we've got a 1.75 liter bottle back here for $22. When you do the math on that maybe that's cheaper. I don't know. I'm not good at math, but for a 750 milliliter bottle, this is the cheapest one that we could find. We don't really need to get into value chatter or anything like that. We just wanted to see
value. It's only $10.
We just wanted to know what does the cheapest bourbon on the shelf taste like? Because we assumed we'd never had it, and we were right. Right to the nose. Huh.
It's kind of a sweet nose.
Very sweet. I get banana Laffy Taffy and candy corn. That's not a huge surprise. 3 years old. A lot of the grain showing up.
Hints of caramel in there.
Maybe some light brown sugar. Like very light brown sugar.
Hint of vanilla tucked in.
I don't hate what I'm getting on the nose. It seems like there's
very pleasant
enough here to at least satisfy my nose. Let's see what it's like on the palate.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Very thin. I had a very terrible reaction on that one. I didn't like it at first. I'm gonna have to give it a couple sips. I'm sorry, everybody.
Well, okay, so my first instinct was, I don't care for this. However,
you were looking down. You should have seen the look that I gave the camera.
There was a real quick bitterness that was the first thing that I got, and I actually have it again now on the, if you can call it a finish, but there was a rush of flavor right down the middle. It was just so sudden and so quick, and it was bookended by the bitterness. I almost got nothing out of this.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
God, I like the nose so much.
The nose is very pleasing. Like it's unfortunate because I went to go take my second sip, and I was like, oh, I am getting a little bit banana Laffy Taffies or something on that. It has a very nice nose to it. Maybe it needs to open up.
I doubt it on this one. It is, there's an astringency here that's throwing it off because there is a little bit of banana. There is a little bit of almost like if you had an oak flavored cola. Somebody get on that. That sounds delicious to me. vanilla, caramel, those things are here, but there's a burn that comes along with it that interrupts all of the sweetness. Any sort of politeness that you can get on this bottle is shown up by the bully of astringency that comes through and just knocks everything out of the way.
So my third sip was better.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I had like a visceral reaction to those first two sips. It was not great. It does have a bit of a bitter back end to it that you were talking about, that it was just like, oh, I think this isn't too bad. And then I'm like, nope, didn't like it again. So it's getting better the more you drink it.
So on the third time that I went to the nose and on my third sip, I finally got the flavors that I expected, the aromas that I expected. So we haven't discussed the distiller who makes this yet,
No.
But based on the nose and the palate, I haven't told you who it is. Do you want to guess who makes this?
Well, what's interesting is when I smelled the cap on it, I got a little nuttiness on the cap, which made me think, oh, maybe this is like a bean product or something. It doesn't taste like a bean product. It doesn't taste like anything that I've ever had. But
Yeah,
what is it?
you're right.
Oh, am I?
It's a Jim Beam product, and I get it on the nose. Peanut
What?
brittle.
Look at this girl.
The peanut brittle. All of a sudden, look at you. Look
I
at
know.
you. Celebrate. Yeah, enjoy it. Celebrate it. The peanut brittle here on the nose suddenly gives it away as a Jim Beam product, and all of the, again, the politeness, even on the nose that I was getting, is now awash in Jim Beam flavor on the nose. And I'm gonna have one more sip of this because I'm curious.
How is it though with this fourth sip? I'm
You know,
almost hesitant.
it's one of those things where I want to roll it around on my tongue. I want to push it around in my mouth and get all the flavors and experience it as fully as I can. I don't want to miss anything here, but it's so thin, it vanishes. It goes directly down my throat and I can't stop it.
The first initial sips were not my favorite. It is getting better the more that I drink it. I mean, I can see why this is a hide and go
Yeah,
kind of sipper.
yeah.
I don't want to always say bad things about it, but it's, you know, it's only $10. I can say that.
If I'm gonna sneak around with a plastic hip flask, Evan Williams is gonna be my choice.
Yeah.
But if that $5 would wreck your bank account, you know, you could do worse than Old Crow. I'll be quite honest. The more we sit with it, the more
better
I
it
enjoy it.
is.
But that burn for an 80 proofer, it is not the most pleasant. I wouldn't give this to somebody that never had a whiskey before and expect them to enjoy it. No way.
I do find this a bit perplexing because I don't like it, but I don't necessarily dislike the last few sips I've had.
Yeah.
So it's winning me over slowly.
The last sip I took, it was just a huge pile of beam flavor in the mouth.
Yeah.
When it's not offset by some other character in the whiskey. Old Grandad 80 proof comes immediately to mind as one that it is almost double the price of this, but it is considerably more palatable and flavorful in my opinion, and it probably should be. This one, you know, it's been around forever.
Yeah.
It gets used in cocktails and that sort of thing, and
It's only $10.
I could see this being a fine cocktail bottle if you're looking for an 80 proof whiskey to use for your cocktails. But beyond that, this is one that we will probably pass on in the future. We will use it for cocktails.
Yeah.
We might pull it out here and there to compare against other things, but by and large, I don't see us going to this bottle very frequently in the future. There's times that this would be enjoyable, just for instance, when there's no other whiskey around. The price is right for it. If I'm gonna talk value on this bottle, $9.95.
You can't beat that.
Probably fair.
I will throw it in a cocktail and see how it goes because, you know, it's kind of like that old Overholt. Hated
Yeah.
that.
Loved it in a cocktail.
Loved it in a cocktail.
I will
so-
also say this: I don't hate this.
No, I don't either.
I don't have anything
hate
against
it.
this bottle. I would drink this again in the future, but I wouldn't buy a bottle of it again.
Right. This was fun.
This was fun.
I like doing some of these random ones.
Why not? Hey, look, we're going to tell you about the expensive stuff. We got to tell you about the affordable stuff too, and there's no bourbon more affordable, by us at least, than Old Crow. Well, let us know your thoughts. Are you drinking Old Crow? What's the hyper affordable bottle close to you? What are you reaching for on the shelf when you don't have anything in your pockets and you just need something cheap? What's it gonna be? Like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at The Bourbon Van. Join us on Patreon for exclusive live streams, content, and merch. And from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I just got the banana.
I got the beam.